the government. Regardless of what the teacher feels inside. You have to be very careful because you could get in trouble. It's very confusing. Allah make it easy. I feel sorry for the girl, I feel sorry for everybody. Because what do you do with that? Right? So, I mean, these are real stories. These are real stories. It's a time of great confusion, and everybody's confused. The government's confused, everybody's confused, I think. That's why the home environment, gender fluidity. Not only that, don't wait for the children to bring the subject up. We need to be looking at the changes in our children. We need to see who their friends are, who they're talking to, so that we can bring up these subjects. SubhanAllah, there's a brother, he's now married. Until now, he is traumatized. Why is he traumatized? He's old enough, he's a religious guy, he prays everything, but he's traumatized. He says that when we were growing up, we never had a meal together. The family never sat and ate together. I said, what do you mean? Then your mom used to cook. Yeah, she used to cook and leave the pot on the stove. And just like, in a buffet where you go and you just take your food, all the brothers, sisters, husbands, whatever, they take the food whenever they want and they eat. That's, subhanAllah, he's struggling, inshallah, he's getting better, but he's struggling with that. All of these things matter. Stability in the home is one of the most important. Husband and wife relationship, very important. The most important thing. Then if it's stable with Islamic knowledge, that they have decent amount of Islamic knowledge. They don't have to be alims or alimas, but they have to have at least a certain amount of decent knowledge and association with ulama, so whenever you have an issue, you can ask. The imams have in the masjid, other ulama, mashallah, we're so lucky. We have so many ulama. Like, just give Foursquare Masjid an example. Every time you come here in namaz, there must be 5-10 ulama among the congregation. You can speak to anyone if you choose to and if you're concerned about it. That's why dinner times are very good times to bring up these issues. If you have a child who, I hope none of you guys are like that you don't want to be at the house. You just want to be out with your friends all the time. You're not like that, right? You're fine with being in the house. That's a problem. But then it's also a problem if you like to be in the house and you don't want to be with anybody else, but in the house you want to be in your room on an iPad with the door closed. That's also a problem. Why is that a problem? Because you're just talking to all sorts of people outside, or just playing games, or doing some other crazy stuff. You're not really benefiting from human interaction, which is very, very important, and you will regret that later. I'm saying this to our younger ones. But for parents, don't think, oh, mashallah, he looks after himself. I don't have to do any babysitting. She looks after herself. Right? That's not a good idea. I'll give you another example. They did a social study of, how old are you, Mr. Green? 11, what's your name? Abdul Wajid, how old are you? Yeah. You're 14. So these guys were 14. What's your name? Fahim. What does that mean? It means the one who understands. That's what Fahim means, so hopefully you understand. Alright? So, what happens is, 14-year-old kids, they're playing in the park. Suddenly one of them, it's a test, suddenly one of them pulls out a spray can and says, Fahim, go and spray on that guy's wall. Do some graffiti. Are you good at graffiti? So what are you going to do? So what would you say to him? What, you say no. Okay, now the others, they all say, no, go and do it, go and do it. Would you still say no? These are your friends. You want to be with them. You still say no, right? Okay. Then what they do is say, Fahim, you're a chicken. Right? You're a chicken, you can't do this, you're so scared, you can't be with us. Would you do it? You sure? You're just saying that. Do you know the pressure we're talking about? What would you do? Just stand there and say no. And then what? You just stand there. Even if they're picking on you. You go. MashaAllah. Inshallah. Inshallah you will. Allah protect all of us. Most of the children ended up doing it. The pressure is too great. Most of them did it. The few who did not do it, what was so special about them? These were non-Muslims. It's not about Islam. These are just regular people. The ones who didn't do it, they walked away. If you stay there, you will be pressured. Unless you're the leader and you can just shut everybody up, then otherwise most people are followers. The only people who survived were those who moved away, walked away. Where did they go? They went home. Why did they go home? They knew that at home I've got welcoming environment. I don't need this group. Because at that time what you're going to be thinking is, they won't be my friends anymore. I won't be part of this group or this gang or whatever it is. I need to belong somewhere. So let me do this so I can belong. If you can belong at home, then you don't have to belong anywhere else. That's the beautiful thing, right? A lot of the abuse is done on poor girls who are in homeless shelters or who are being brought up outside of their parents' guardianship. Very vulnerable, right? Very vulnerable. And now there is too much out there that is consuming our children. I mean, I don't have enough time for this, but in the last year, I would say I've dealt with 3 cases of between 15 and 17-year-old girls, 2 girls and 1 boy, I think, or there were 3 girls that became atheists. Right? Even though they're from parents who are praying salah, and they used to wear hijab, they used to go maktab and Islamic school as well, because on personal chat in Twitter, one connected to an atheist kid of her own age who had that discussion, because there was no way to have that discussion at home or anywhere else. She just had that discussion and eventually made her question her faith. So even staying at home is not enough. Before, if you kept your children at home, you could be safe. But now, there's outlets with the social media. That's why, very important that us as adults have to continue to increase our knowledge. So, we need to have enough knowledge of what's going on today so that we can have that discussion with our children, so our children can trust us. They don't just think we don't know anything. Because when children think you don't know anything, then why would they share anything with you? They'll share with somebody else, and there won't be anybody else to share with. So that's why it's important that we become understanding of this, and we have that ability to talk to them and to bring up issues and deal with them.